YouTube family, what's going on? It's your man Pristine back with another video. Okay, so the Apple event, it just ended. All right, and this is just a reaction video to what I just saw, as I'm still processing and internalizing everything that Apple just announced. But then to also talk about a little disappointments, and this isn't to bash Apple. And so, if I hurt anybody's feelings by saying what I'm getting ready to say, my apologies, I'll just say that up front. You know what I'm saying? This isn't a bash Apple video, but I also wanted to bring some things to your attention as well. And hopefully, we can conversate down in the comments, because I want to get some of you guys' take on some of the things that I'm getting ready to say. Now, look, I'm gonna just make this, short and sweet, and I'm gonna get out your way, right? Am I disappointed by what I just saw? Yes and no. Okay. I'm disappointed by what I just saw because of the fact that I think that, and I'm gonna just keep it honest. I'm disappointed because I would like to see Apple do more things to stay in contention with what some of the competition is doing, like mainly Samsung. Now, look, I'm gonna just address the elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me at least, and I know a lot of you out there in the digisphere, are probably wondering the same thing and probably asking yourselves the same thing. Where is the Apple foldable? Right? Just what, a week and a half ago, Samsung, man, Z Fold 4, you know what I'm saying? Or Z Flip 4, Z Fold 4, right? Like, these are two hot commodities right here, right? And another foldable that is high on my list is the Microsoft Surface Duo 2. And so, you guys stay tuned, because I got my unboxing and first initial thoughts and impressions video for both of these bad boys coming very soon. But, when you have devices that are like this, that just dropped not even 2 weeks ago, and then Apple has their far out event today, you know what I mean? And we all know that Apple, they are so behind the curve as it pertains to innovation in mobile tech. It's some of like the features and even the design language of a lot of the devices that we're seeing today, mainly like stuff like this, right? It's like, Apple, when are we gonna get a new design? Okay, like now let's talk about the Pro real quick. Right now, the Pro is cool. Like, I get the fact that the dynamic island. All right, now the dynamic island, that's pretty dope. And look, you know what? Here's what I think we should start wrapping our heads around, because I know that one of the main reasons why I'm disappointed in this particular event is because of the fact that I didn't see anything close to this, right? But if you stop, and this is what I'm telling myself to stop doing, if you stop trying to compare what Apple is doing to what the competition is doing, then maybe you can grow a greater appreciation for what Apple is doing. Because if you think about it, what they just announced is actually some really cool stuff, right? So let's talk about those things for a quick second. So just the 14 Pro and the Pro Max, right? Okay, we got the new front design, which it doesn't really deviate a whole lot from the typical design language that we seen from the iPhone 10, which was years ago. But with last year's model, the 13 Pro and Pro Max, we saw the notch. The notch got a little bit smaller. Now on the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max, the notch has been reduced to the dynamic island, which is pretty cool because it's interactive. You can interact with it. You can long press it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna, let you know about notifications. If you're playing music, you're gonna be able to control your music through it, right? It has it's a multi, functioning feature, that the phone has. and it's not gonna, interrupt a lot of different things that you may be doing. I mean, so, if you're in a particular app, and other things are happening, that dynamic, island is gonna be very useful, to a lot of people. I mean, so I think that that's gonna be a cool feature. The A16 Bionic, right? That's also a welcome feature. I mean, possibly, the most powerful chip on planet Earth now that it's been unveiled. I don't really like the fact that, okay, with the iPhone 14, I think it's cool that we have an Ultra, but I don't think it's cool that they did away with the Mini, because I think that there's still a lot of people that want the latest and greatest, right? They want the latest, but there's no iPhone 14 mini. So it's like, if you want the mini, then you either got to get a 13 or a 12. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, what if you want a smaller iPhone 14? It's non-existent. So you're either, you got the 6.1, which for some people, it's a little bit too big. I mean, some people really, really like the mini, and they felt like the mini was the sweet spot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think there was like a 5.4 inch display. I had the 12 and the 13 mini, you know what I'm saying, for a short amount of time, and I really liked it. Like, I really liked it. But I think for me, like, that 6.1 inch display that's the sweet spot for me. So you got pros and cons with having a 14 Ultra and no longer a 14 mini, right? Because you got some people, again, on the back end who want that smaller size. Well, either you're just stuck with the 6.1 or the 6.7. Other people are going to be like, great, do away with the mini. We want the larger display and not necessarily have to pay the additional monies that we would to go up to the Pro or the Pro Max. And so, I think it's good or bad depending on who you ask and what you want. But I do not like the fact that the A16 Bionic chip is not across the board. Last year, the A15 Bionic, it was across the board between the iPhone 13 mini, the 13, the 13 Pro, and the 13 Pro Max. Now, if you want that 16, you gotta go with the 14 Pro and the Pro Max, which is gonna cost you additional funds. Now, apparently, according to research that Apple has done, the A15 Bionic is still, one of the most powerful chips on planet Earth, so much to where they didn't deviate from that chip at all. They're just like, hey, we got the A15 Bionic in the whole 13 series and in the 14 and the 14 Ultra. So that ought to let you know how much they really are feeling the performance levels of the 15. And trust me, I mean, the 15, ain't no joke. The A15 Bionic is no joke. It is an extremely powerful chip. I would have liked to have seen the A16 across all models, though, just like what Apple did last year with the 13s. Like, that would have been dope. You look at the AirPods Pro 2. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Pro because I don't like earbuds that you have to jam into your ear. I've got my let me see, like the third gen AirPods, which kind of look like the Pros, like these guys right here. The way these just kind of rest in your ear, you just put them in, boom, and it stays. And you move your head around, shake your head, whatever. It doesn't go anywhere. Like, that's more, my speed. I mean, so I never really got down with the Pros because of the fact that you kind of jam them down in your ear. I know that now there is an extra small ear tip for people that were finding it complicated to find the perfect fit for them with the first gen AirPod Pros. But I mean, the enhancements that they talked about, I'm pretty sure it's going to make a difference as far as like your overall sound quality and how music is going to sound, the noise cancellation and all that type of stuff. Like, that's cool. But I mean, comfort is everything. So I think, me personally, I'm going to pass on the Pros, but it's like when they release maybe the fourth gen that are more like these with some of the capabilities that the Pro has, then I'll upgrade to those from these. But I mean, for me right now, the third gen AirPods, which kind of took on more of the Pro look. They're a little bit shorter, but they still have like that AirPod first and second gen vibe where you just kind of rest it on your ear as opposed to having to dig it all the way in your ear like the pros. I'm not really feeling that. But I mean, for those of you that don't mind that feel and putting stuff down in your ear, hey, I mean, the AirPods Pro second gen, I mean, they seem like they're going to be a winner for a fact, you know, because I know that the sound quality on these, top notch. And, you know, I've got my second gen AirPods right here. I mean, you know, the sound quality on these joints, and see, I love these, you know, you just put them down in your ear and it's not a problem. I mean, so the sound quality on the first gen AirPods, these, and the third gens, hey, no problems at all whatsoever. I mean, so I'm pretty sure those AirPod Pro 2s, you know, or second gens rather, you know, those are going to sound, they're going to sound great. Now, what else have we got here? The Apple Watch. Now, you got the Apple Watch Series 8 in all of the nuances, all the health nuances, you know, the EKG, blood oxygen level. Now you got AFib detections, which is atrial fibrillation, which those of you that don't know, I mean, it's an irregular heart rhythm, you know, that can be it can be a very malignant condition. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so definitely, you know, if you have AFib, I mean, it's definitely something that you need to get and check in with your cardiologist and get seen and get that monitored, possibly get put on meds, or, you know, depending on the nature of your circumstances, possibly more invasive, you know, procedures to make sure that your heart keeps ticking. Cause, you know, once that stops, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, the Apple Watch, you know, it's a good tool. You know, you got the fall detection. You know, now you've got, you know, crash detection, body temperature monitor. I love what they're doing as far as like women's health. And, you know, you've got cycle tracking with, you know, ovulation, you know, sensing and all that type of stuff. Like that stuff is dope. Like that stuff is really cool. I love the fact that we now have a second gen Watch SE, and then the Watch Ultra, you know, for people that, you know, like to, you know, hike or just be in the wild outdoors, diving, all that type of stuff that they put emphasis on. Like all that stuff is cool, right? It's cool. But it just makes me wonder, like, of all the people out there that have, you know, iPhones, Apple Watches, you know, the Apple Watches, iPads, like just that are just completely immersed in the Apple ecosystem, which is millions, right? Millions upon millions of people utilize and rely on Apple products and services on a day in and day out basis. The thing that I keep asking myself is a lot of the stuff that Apple announced today, how much of those people that own Apple products and rely on their products and services on a daily basis, how much of those people are actually going to utilize a lot of the things that Apple announced today? Right? Like I feel like they can be a bit more innovative as it pertains to their hardware. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, the dynamic island is cool. I mean, finally getting always on display. I mean, I don't think there's no Android device in my lineup right now. My drawer right here is full of phones. I don't think either one of those phones does not have always on display, unless it's like an old, I mean, I got some old school devices in there as well, but I'm saying like devices within the last 4 or 5 years, they pretty much all are coming standard with always on display or some form of always on display. So this is what I mean when I say like Apple is behind the curve in technology, finally having always on display. Okay, is it cool? Yes. But I mean, if you look on the Android side of things, how many years has Android devices had always on display? How many? It's been years. And this whole excuse that Apple puts out, oh, well, you know, we're behind with these types of things because we're carefully and meticulously, you know, trying to perfect it so that when we do implement it into our hardware, then it's just going to work to perfection. And in most cases it does, right? Like when they do implement something new, I mean, it works really well. But it's like the time that you're spending to perfect these things, It's like, does Apple not realize that time is moving? And as time continues to move, the tech continues to evolve more and more and more and more. So it's like, when is Apple gonna wake up and realize that a lot of the stuff that they're implementing in their devices are technologies that have been dated and that have been on other devices for years, right? And I know that stuff like this is like, it's exciting for, Apple, fanboys and girls, because they haven't had these services, forever. And they kind of snarl at, the fact that you have, Android users that, have had the privilege of being able to utilize these features for so long. But it's like, okay, now you're just now introducing always on display. And it's like, okay, well, who's to say? Maybe on the Android side of things, I mean, they're, right on the cusp of, whatever the next technology is going to be, to be able to quickly notify us or whatnot. I mean, I don't know, but it's like, okay, finally, welcome to the party as it pertains to always on display. Right now, again, like the whole thing with what is this satellite detection? If you're out in areas, you know what I mean, and you really need to use a satellite device. I mean, like they said, I mean, as it pertains to iPhone, you no longer need, this expensive, a phone that has like this really thick antenna on it that can really hone in on the signals from the satellites, because of the fact they're so far up, and you can point the phone in a particular direction and it is basically gonna prompt you on where to point to the where to point the device in the air, so that it's picking up on the closest signal via the satellite. Like that's dope, right? But it's like, how many people are really gonna need to use that, Apple? I mean, are that many people gonna need to use that type of feature to where it's really gonna be relevant? Or is it just one of those gimmicky things that, I mean, it's just like, okay, well, the iPhone, it has this technology, it has this feature, but is the feature really all that relevant if it's not going to be utilized? You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear it on the Android side of things all the time. Like, you got so many Android phones and they have all these different features and functions, and sometimes it's just too much. And a lot of people are just like, oh, well, that phone it's a gimmick. It's gimmicky. It's got this feature, that feature, but people aren't going to use them. So it just gets, the hard work and the time and the effort to implement whatever that feature is into that device for people's use, it gets reduced to just a gimmick, because it's like, oh, well, people aren't really going to use that, so I don't even really know why the phone has that feature. Well, I mean, it goes both ways, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that Apple announced today, with the exception of like the health stuff from the app, I mean, and some of these things are really useful, like the crash detection, your body temperature monitoring with the watch, ovulation monitoring with the watch, like these things, beefing up, I mean, the health stuff, blood oxygen levels, heart rate, like all that type of stuff, like those are really, really useful things. I mean, as we grow older, I'm getting ready to turn 44 on the 23rd of this month, and by the grace of God, I'm, clean bill of health, healthy. I mean, I feel great, I look good, I'm talking about, I'm a specimen, baby, but, this ain't about me. I mean, it's like, how much are these things are really, really gonna be utilized? Now, like Apple said, like with the crash detection and stuff like that, hopefully it's a feature that you won't have to use, but in the event that you do, then it's available and it could possibly help you, right? I mean, so it's good to have that type of stuff. I've yet to see that type of safety feature on any other device, and so I will say that it's good that Apple is pushing the envelope on that particular front. But it's like, man, can we get that in a foldable Apple? You know what I'm saying? Can we get a completely different design change? I mean, can we get something to get really, really excited about? Like, I'm a tech reviewer and I like to stay on the cutting edge of the tech. So am I gonna have the new iPhone? Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna have, September 16th, which pre-order start on the 9th, which is this Friday. Today's the 7th. Like I said, the event just ended. The device is gonna be out next Friday. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so as soon as I'm done recording this video, I'm on the Apple website, and I'm gonna be pre-ordering my. Am I gonna get the Pro Max? Pro Max is too big, man. I'm gonna just get the Pro. You know what I'm saying? So I'll have it. But I mean, am I really all that thrilled about it? Not really. I mean, truthfully, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, and this may surprise you, and stay tuned because my full pristine review is coming on this joint, and I know I slammed this joint, but it's like my favorite Apple device right now is my SE 3rd gen. You know what I'm saying? With the A15 Bionic. I mean, this device is insane. Like it's and it's for only $429.99. I mean, so I mean, I don't know. Maybe I won't upgrade. You know, I've gotten reaccustomed to using the Touch ID button, you know what I'm saying? And you know, the cameras, you know, they're, you know, not, you know, what we, you know, see produced from, you know, the 13 lineup or anything like that. But I mean, even though this is all like iPhone 8 hardware, you know, with some tweaks internally, I mean, it's good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, it works, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Maybe I won't get the 14 Pro. Maybe I'll just hang on to this, you know what I'm saying? I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? I gotta have it. But just some things that I would have liked to have seen. But again, this is no knock on Apple. You know, I think, you know, maybe people, maybe to kind of curb your disappointment like myself, maybe we should just, those of us that's looking for Apple to do what a lot of the competition is doing, maybe we should, you know, tone back, scale it back on that expectation and just start looking at it like Apple. They have their own lane, they have their own vision, and you know what that vision entails may be completely different from what Samsung is doing. It may be completely different from what Xiaomi is doing, or any other company, you know what I'm saying, that is made like a foldable and is trying to transition, or just trying to, you know, have multiple devices. You know, if you want a foldable, okay, we got that. If you want your typical candy bar style device, okay, you know, we got that too. You know, maybe Apple isn't even looking to compete in that particular front. I would find that hard to believe, because I think that if Apple were to release a foldable, that it would shut a lot of things down. You know what I'm saying? I think that it would really be good. You know, I definitely would have that. Like they would get my money just like that. I mean, as soon as an Apple foldable gets announced and it's available for pre-order, I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, maybe we should scale back our expectation, you know what I'm saying? And just focus on, you know, the nuances in which they implemented, and just rest easy on the fact that they are just slow moving with a lot of the innovations, and that's just how they rock it. And maybe that's just how they want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not necessarily about competing with every competitor device for device. You know what I'm saying? Because even with everything that they just announced, I mean, how's it gonna compete with these two devices are, and surprisingly, this little Z Flip 4 right here is it's really becoming hard to put down, even though I got the Fold 4 right here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, what are you guys' thoughts about the Apple event and what you just saw? Sound out down in the comments. And you already know, you know, just keep it respectful. That's all I ask. You know, and this wasn't a rant video. It wasn't to slam Apple, but I just wanted to share some thoughts, you know, immediately following, you know, the end of the event. You know, sound off in the comments down below on what you guys think. You know, what would have liked to have seen from Apple? What are you happy that they implemented, that they just announced? Or if you are just completely disgruntled and unhappy with what you're seeing and unsatisfied, then man, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And all I ask is that we talk respectfully. Respect my views. I will respect your views, and we'll have a respectful conversation about the Apple Far Out event. You know what I'm saying? So you guys already know, man, please stay safe. As always, get spiritually fit, because we're definitely living in the last days. Don't put off to tomorrow what you can do today. You know what I'm saying? Because tomorrow ain't never promised. Keep it pristine in every aspect of your lives. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.